Hello, hello.
Hello, hello, and welcome.
We
Welcome to
have,
this lovely mYes webinar. Wait a
I
second.
think Monique can see into your apartment from
Exactly. I'm looking at you all. Hello, and hello, everybody. This is a lovely mYes webinar
That's amazing.
in Italy.
From Bologna. Oh, wow. That is really something. That's really cool.
I am not a drummer, unlike Alex, but I can do
That's
a
so cool.
simple beat. Kick, hi-hat, snare. That's about it.
Solid.
Yeah.
You need a good backbeat.
Need a good backbeat.
Yeah.
So
You really do. It doesn't matter how flashy you get.
No.
No. You get fired if you're flashy.
Yeah, exactly. You think soul music, you just want boom.
No, yeah, you just want the 4 to the floor.
Yeah, you want to
No.
you want to lay it down, right? So these are drumsticks that were gifted to me by my dear friend Joelle, who lives in Schio in the north of Italy.
Drumsticks.
And he is a fantastic drummer. We have played together a lot. We've done tours together, and he's just very funny and an excellent drummer. His background is punk and jazz.
Oh,
so
nice.
Yeah,
it's so cool when you get two completely different. That's so cool.
He recently did a tour, a European tour with an Afrobeat band from San Francisco.
Nice.
Really cool. I think you would like his style too.
I imagine I would. Just from punk jazz is the background. That's already a winner.
Yeah, he's amazing. So,
wow.
So welcome to whoever joining us. Tell us, do you play music? Do you play drums? And
that's a good question, actually.
Do you like
do you play music?
Do you like Jimi Hendrix? What is that song? Yes. The castles made of sand. What is it? Sand castles made of sand? No.
But isn't it Castles in the Sky? No, is that another person?
You know the one? Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Lovely Jimi Hendrix.
I love Jimmy.
Yeah, it's sand. It's castles made of sand.
Oh.
Castles made of sand came out in '67.
Nice. What album is that on?
Let's see here. It is on his 1967 second album entitled Axis Bold as Love.
Let's see if I have that, because I did have all of the Jimi Hendrix songs.
Really?
As well. Used to.
So the chorus goes, and so castles made of sand, and then goes on to say, fall in the sea eventually, which is true. Castles in the sea, castles in the sand, fall in the sea eventually.
Eventually, everything falls into the sea.
Yeah, eventually. So if you are at home, please join us. Write whatever you'd like. Salt castles made, no. And so castles made of sand.
That's really cool.
Yeah, shall we?
So you play music?
I play music and you play music. Therefore, we play music.
We all play music.
However, in live streaming, it's very difficult to synchronize because of something called latency. Latency. It makes it very psychedelic.
Yeah, it does. Everyone's playing. I think just with my brother, sometimes we used to do that. Well, we would try, but it's different. It's very psychedelic.
Is your brother a musician?
He's a better musician than me.
What does he play?
He played, so his background is piano, but then he self-taught guitar and subsequently bass. Then basically we gift him musical instruments. So one Christmas he asked for, what are they called again? The
harmonica?
Is it a harmonica?
Oh no, this is a, wait, did you say harmonica? Did I say
accordion? Is it the accordion?
Yeah, an accordion. Correct. Yeah.
So he plays the accordion as well.
That's fantastic. Does he play Japanese music?
I imagine he does, but I know that they have a lot of semitones, don't they, as well?
I don't know much about Japanese music, to tell you the truth.
Like the classic one, because they've got a good pop punk kind of scene in Japan. But I think their classic music, like their traditional music, has semitones. It's one of those, not Western, obviously.
Semitones and maybe quarter tones also, right?
I think so. I think so.
I mean, there's the koto, which is that huge Japanese instrument that has the strings that you play like this, like a slide guitar, lap steel.
Slide guitars are really cool.
Yeah.
I love slide guitars.
I imagine they use also semitones, quarter tones. Yeah.
I imagine they do. I know. I imagine he does. He could if he wanted to, but I don't know if that's something that he focused on. I don't know.
So what is his main instrument right now?
Yeah, good question. Guitar, I think, but he's a good pianist as well. I think in Japan he's got a guitar for sure. I think he has a keyboard. I'm not sure, because he picked up bass as well, because once you start picking up instruments, it's difficult to stop.
Like languages, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought him a violin one time for Christmas, but he snapped one of the strings immediately and he didn't replace it.
You can have a 3-stringed violin.
In his world, no, apparently. Everything needs to be.
Oh, really? Interesting. And do you play music together, or did you?
We did. Yeah, we did. Both of us were very into mYes. So we used, and Avenged Sevenfold as well.
You know, mYes were from Devon, or are from Devon. I learned that in another webinar.
Did you learn that from me, perchance?
Indeed, I did, yes.
Yeah, they're very close.
Not from Kinkerswell, but from near Kinkerswell.
Yeah, Teignmouth.
Sure, Teignmouth.
Which is spelt in the most, in the silliest way.
I would imagine that mouth is part of it. Yeah. And it's pronounced Teignmouth?
Teignmouth, yeah.
Teignmouth. That's cool. Teignmouth.
It's strange.
Yeah.
But the river is the River Teign. So the river is called Teign, but then the town is called Tin.
Population? What is the population of Teignmouth?
It's small again. It's not big. Bigger than King's Kerswell for sure, but
that's cool.
But still small.
So you used to play music together?
Yes, we used to. We used to play music in the spare room where my drums were. My brother played a little begrudging. He wanted to play together, but playing in the same room, like in a small spare room with a drum kit, an acoustic drum kit, is not the best, especially when you're.
Drums are just ba ba ba.
Exactly, and I played loud.
Drums are very loud, even with 7A drumsticks. Oops, drums are very loud, which makes it fun, right?
Not for the other musicians.
No, not for the other musicians. Yeah,
because my brother was very much listening for tones and the music side of things rather than the rhythm, and all he could hear was. Yeah. But we gave mini concerts for our parents, essentially.
Amazing. So your parents were very kind.
Luckily, yes, because my drum kit, so my drums were above the living room. So my parents would, apparently they got used to it. It was normal for them. When I returned, so when I went to university and then I returned, they were no longer used to it. So they really noticed when,
Oh,
so it started going
sure.
downhill, unfortunately. But
Interesting.
hey-ho,
Yeah.
hey-ho.
So what is this background here? We see a city, right? We have about a city today, and we have this interesting background where we see a tower.
I'm trying to show.
But what is
more
this
of the
city?
tower.
So we want you to guess what this city might be. I guess it's hard to show, actually. So that makes it even more interesting of a challenge.
I'm going to remove the banner just to see.
Okay, cool.
We can see a little bit more.
Yeah, we can see the base of it. One thing we can tell you is it is not Paris.
No, Paris. It is not Paris.
No. Well,
I can do this. No.
And this is not in Europe, and it is not in the Americas, and it is not in Africa.
No.
It is not in Korea, and it is not in China.
No.
It's not in Nepal, and it's not in India. So where could it be? Can we describe this city? It's a very big city, but I do not think it's one of the most populated.
Pardon?
I don't think it's one of the most populated cities in the world.
Isn't it?
I don't think it's in the top 5.
Is it the top? It's the most densely populated?
Perhaps.
I think. What is the population of this city?
That's a
more or less.
Good. Let's take a guess. And if you're joining us or take a guess as well, I would say it's very difficult. I would say 10 million people. What would you say?
I'm going to say more than.
Think about it. Like Sao Paulo has, I think, 28 million. Same with Mexico.
Yeah, I'm comparing to other cities. I'm going to say, I don't know why, but 18 million.
Okay, I'm going to look it up.
Drum roll, please. I guess you actually have it as well.
I'm the drummer. You're the drummer, and I have the drumsticks. Ooh, so what I see here is just doing a simple Google search. It says 9.273 million.
Damn it. Well done, Monique.
Thank you very much. 10 million people. That's a large city. If in Bologna we have about 600,000, that's about
600?
million. I think so.
Isn't it 330,000?
I thought it was.
Let's find out. It's the next round. We can play this all day.
Round. I say
you won round 1.
I won round 1. I say 600,000, which would mean that it's 9,400,000 less than the city in the background picture.
It is. In 2017,
yes,
it is 388,000 only.
How interesting!
It's a small baby. It's more than Florence, though.
Interesting. So about 400,000.
Yep.
You like that?
Exactly.
And what is the population of Los Angeles, do you think?
Oh. The population of Los Angeles?
It's more than 400,000 and it's less than 10 million. That's just to give you a range to make it a bit easier.
6 million, 5.8 million.
Not a bad guess. I think it's slightly less, but ballpark.
Let's find out.
Yeah, I think that it's 4 million approximately.
Is 4 million dead on?
Wow. Okay, but no, it's actually 3,999,999. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really strange, though. How is it? It's got like different sections and handle and.
I'm not sure what you're seeing.
The map.
It's a city that's very spread out, right?
I'll show you. I'll show you the map.
Okay.
Because it's I expected it to be all together, but what's happening?
Let's see.
What's happening here?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So Beverly Hills. So if you zoom in, I can tell you. So if you look in, for example, Santa Monica is its own city.
So Santa Monica.
Yeah, Santa Monica is its own city. Beverly Hills is its own city. I think that's what it's showing, right?
Okay. Yeah.
This is probably Los Angeles County. Let's see. See, for example, Pasadena is just outside. I have a good friend who lives in Pasadena.
Oh, so they're their own city, so you wouldn't even consider. That's interesting.
There's some that are like physically in this inside.
Okay, so like San Fernando as well.
Yeah, I mean San Fernando's a bit out, but yeah. That's what I'm guessing. I'm not sure if it means
no, because it's got this really strange section here.
That's the freeway. That's probably the 110 freeway. Let's see. Yeah. Is this a 110?
Yeah, 110. Yeah.
Yeah, that's also called the Harbor Freeway because it takes you down to the harbor, which is that's where my dad lives, in that area there.
Oh, wow.
Long Beach. It's one of the biggest ports too, on the west.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, Torrance, Long Beach.
I didn't know that they had their own little area.
Yeah.
Wow. Very cool.
Yeah, very cool.
I learned something new today.
Amazing. I'm glad.
Very cool.
Yeah, shall we? Oh, so that was a good view of the city. That was a really good view.
Wait.
Shall we reveal it? I'll do the drum roll.
Can I reveal it? If we remove ourselves from this
No, I mean, can we reveal it, meaning tell them what it is?
Okay.
Okay, so
it is. Dun 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 dun. Begins with a T. Tokyo.
Woohoo! Tokyo, which is in Japan, a population 10 million people, just under 10 million people. The language spoken is
Japanese.
The people are called
Japanese people?
Yeah, the same word. So the adjective and the language have the same word. Japanese people speak Japanese. But not all Japanese speak Japanese. There might be one Devonian who also speaks Japanese.
My brother speaks Japanese.
Yeah. Does he speak fluent Japanese?
He does, from what I understand.
Does he live in Japanese?
Yes, he does. So he's an English teacher like me.
Yeah.
But unlike me, he works with Japanese colleagues. Like all of them are Japanese. So in my English school, we have Italian colleagues as well. But when we work at the school, everyone speaks English, everyone. My brother, he teaches English, but his colleagues are Japanese. Wow. And not all of them speak English, so he speaks Japanese.
So he's
really cool.
Anomaly.
Pardon?
He is an anomaly there.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, he is.
Right?
He is.
I mean, very unique.
We had, when we went to visit my brother, we went to the school where he teaches, and we had a formal, I guess it was formal, sit down, almost interview with the headmaster of the school, the head teacher. The principal, is that the American?
Yes, exactly, the principal.
I think it's principal in Japan as well. I think they use that. Where he gave us tea and biscuits, and we were allowed to ask him any question we wanted. So I asked him a bunch of questions about Japanese culture, Japanese education, and just how he sees it. It was really cool. And he showed us every school in Japan has an official stamp. So in Japan, they don't sign documents. They stamp.
That's very interesting.
Each person has an individual stamp that they carry around with them for official documents. I have one as well.
Anyone.
Pardon?
Any person.
Exactly. So my brother, when he went to Japan, a little bit like when we came to Italy, we needed to get our codice fiscale.
Mm-hmm.
When he went to Japan, he got a stamp for his name, and he stylized it as well. You can choose it.
Wow.
But each school has a big official stamp.
Mm-hmm.
So you know it comes from the school. It's very cool.
Fantastic. Wow.
Very, very cool.
And do you speak about your professions at all, you and your brother, about being English teachers? Do you share ever?
Yeah,
Or?
yeah, sometimes. I would say that my brother is a little bit more advanced, maybe on the avant-garde of things, because he
English?
Just teaching in general, because his school is one of the trial schools for robot teachers.
Nice. That's amazing.
So they're experimenting a lot of different things. And obviously my brother does a lot of lesson preparation,
Sure.
whereas at my English school we basically don't. Sometimes a little, but not to that extent.
Like traditional classes type thing.
Exactly. So he plans out the syllabus for the entire semester.
Interesting. How old are his students?
He's got different schools as well, so he goes to different schools, ranging from young, like I think 6-7-year-olds, to teenagers. I think he also teaches at the university there. So a range.
Is it nice hearing your brother speak Japanese?
It is very cool, because I see that he's understood, which is obviously a big plus, and they're not confused by him. So I also noticed the intonation as well is exactly what I hear from the Japanese speakers. So they have different intonations for when they're explaining something and when they're asking a question. We kind of have this in Western languages, where we say, so who are you? We have this upwards intonation, but it's the space in between words that changes. It's really cool to hear him.
Yeah.
It's cool to hear anyone of your family speak in a language that you're not used to hearing them speak.
Yeah.
And that's very cool.
That's lovely.
It must be cool for you as well, though, because you've got different family.
Sort of cool. I spoke to my cousin yesterday who's in Israel. She lives in Petah Tikva, which is about 10 minutes or 20 minutes from Tel Aviv. And it was nice because yesterday was the start of Passover, which is also called Pesach, which in Italian is called like the Jewish Easter, which is sort of funny because, well, it's not really Easter, it's Passover. But anyways, that's fine. It's in the same time period. So I spoke with them, and she's lovely. Her name is Esther. She has a husband and 3 kids and 1 incredibly big, fabulous cat. And so they live in Petah Tikva, and we met on Skype yesterday because her children, one of her sons plays trumpet and the other son plays the piano. So we met to do some Passover songs, right? You know, clearly there's songs connected to this holiday. It's a very festive, happy holiday, right? However, okay, my cousin speaks English and Hebrew, but her children are mother tongue Hebrew and don't really speak English. So yes, it's cool to hear Esther speaking and her family speaking Hebrew, but it's also frustrating because I can understand maybe 30% of it. No, maybe 50%. But
yeah,
so it's cool, and at the same time I wish that I could understand more.
Sure, because it's your family as well.
Yeah, right.
And it's not an acquired language, but their native language. Yes. I think that's the big difference, because if my brother speaks Japanese, fine, he's learned Japanese, that's fine, that's his thing. But if that were his native language and I couldn't communicate to my family,
Yes.
That would cause
Esther speaks English, as does her,
okay.
but her children don't really. So yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, that's strange.
Yeah.
I've started watching a show on Netflix. I think it's called I can't remember what it's called, but it's about a Yiddish girl.
Hmm.
So I think she's from New York originally, but in one of those closed communities.
Yeah, like Williamsburg.
Yes, exactly. That
Sure,
is Williamsburg. Oh, so
sure.
Williamsburg is in New York.
Williamsburg is in Brooklyn.
Okay, nice. Thank you, Monique. Thank
Sure.
you. And she runs away essentially to Germany,
Wow,
but it
really?
apparently it's based on a true story,
Hmm.
apparently. And they're speaking Yiddish a lot of the time, and
Sure.
it's a fascinating language because I don't know if it's because they're from New York, but they mix in English as well.
There's a lot of Yiddish words in English, in the English language now that have come into
Right.
vernacular, like they're commonly
Like
used.
schmuck.
Like schmuck, exactly. Yeah. I mean, because a lot of Jews that fled from the pogroms in Russia in the late 1800s went to the UK, such as my grandma and my great grandparents, right?
Right.
So Yiddish was actually also a common language for the Jews in the UK as well. So hence the Yiddish words like schmuck and kvet
Uh-huh.
can also be found in the UK, I think, right?
No,
Really?
I imagine yes, but so I did an experiment with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad is as English as possible, old generation.
As
So
English
he's been
as the pies you make.
the pasties.
Thank you. As English as Polish pasties.
Yes, I guess so. I would almost say more English if that's even possible, but
Okay, cool.
old school. So he's been around a while, and I tried to use some of these words that I picked up from American movies, and he looked at me just blank.
But granted, your father is from Devon, right?
He's from Reading, so close to London.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No,
Oh,
he's been around England.
oh wow.
So I don't know. I imagine in Jewish communities, yes, but
Yeah,
outside,
that's
I
interesting.
don't. It is interesting.
Yeah. So what happens in the book then? She leaves Williamsburg and goes to Germany.
Exactly. And so I think she had just become married, arranged marriage, but they seemed happy. But for one reason or another, she wanted freedom to escape. I think it's because she had a passion for music and playing
Wow.
music, but because she was a female in a closed community, she wasn't allowed to do that. So
Mhm.
she wasn't allowed her freedom. So she escaped to Germany all by herself, which is
Amazing.
crazy. No home, basically no money, no nothing.
Mhm.
And at the moment she's trying to get a grant to study at a music school, at a conservatory.
Are you reading the book right now?
Pardon?
Is this a book or a film?
It's a TV show.
Oh, and are you
So
watching
at the
it?
moment, yes, we started last night.
That's so cool.
I'm gonna find it, so maybe you can find it as well,
Yeah,
because
I have
it's
a friend who's also has a similar story, which is a true story. Her name is Sarah Arenthal. She's a lovely, she's an artist who was born and raised in Williamsburg, and her mother tongue is Yiddish, right? So in the community of Williamsburg in Brooklyn, people are born and raised in the US and do not speak English. Their mother
that's
tongue
the thing.
and they speak Yiddish. So she also left and moved to Israel, I think. Now,
Oh,
and she
wow.
left her community, which is huge. You basically can get excommunicated. And then
Yeah,
she
that's the thing.
art, and now she's quite a successful artist in New York. What she does is she'll draw and write these really cool phrases on furniture and beds and things that are left on the street. So it's literally street art. But she's made quite a name for herself, and she's a very interesting person. There's an organization in New York for people that leave their communities because it happens frequently that people.
But it's difficult for them as well.
Oh, it's called Unorthodox. Interesting. Oh, it's difficult. And so I played once for this organization. I can't remember the name of it, but it's really an important community service because people sometimes want to expand their horizons and then they don't know where to go. Also because they don't know the language of the country they live in. So it's
that's
really
the thing.
hard. So it's a beautiful organization.
Oh, wow.
That sounds cool though. That's a very interesting story. Yeah.
Yeah, no, look it up. I think it's based on I want to say it's based on a book. I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. But it's a mini series at the moment. It's interesting, very interesting. Shall we describe some cities?
That's a fantastic idea. Yes. Can you describe Tokyo, for example?
Tokyo is a big, busy metropolis.
Mm-hmm. Like the Fritz Lang film?
Yeah, exactly. Big, busy metropolis.
Have you been to Tokyo?
Yes, I have.
As have I.
It's a beautiful place.
It's a very.
Can you describe Tokyo as well?
Yes, I can. Tokyo is interesting, crazy, crowded. Tokyo is fascinating. Tokyo is wild. And it is a fun city.
Perfect.
Do you agree that Tokyo is?
Yes, definitely. I went to a robot dance show thing. Crazy. Just
amazing.
Just crazy. Really, really out of this world. It was so strange. Sorry.
You saw robots dancing.
It's basically in a closed area. Maybe I can even share this if I get it up because I took some photos.
Cool.
It's just an experience. The photos don't do it justice. Even the videos just don't do it justice. I'll try and find them.
Yeah, I went to a kabuki theater performance.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like the old school Japanese opera-ish with huge costumes. And that what was interesting is they had the option of tourists to come for 30 minutes instead of like 4 hours, the duration of it normally. So we went for 30 minutes and saw this kabuki theater. It was very, very cool.
It's just very strange. It's very different from what we're used to.
I really enjoyed Tokyo. I don't think about it often because it was the year 2000. In the year 2000. Yeah, it was in the year 2000, but I still remember it very, very fondly. I went to Tokyo, Kyoto, and Hiroshima.
Oh, me too.
How I went there?
How?
Okay. Have you heard of the Lomo camera?
Oh, no, I do remember this. So you won a competition, right, for lomography?
Yes, I won. It was called the Lomo.
It's really cool.
The Lomo Olympics. Yeah, it's really cool. And I found out 1 week before.
Really?
Yes.
No way. 1 week before.
That was incredible. So I took a break from work. It was 10 days and it was all covered. And I got the airline ticket the day before the flight.
No way.
Like the name of the hotel, but not the address. I got there, it was pouring rain. What is the Narita International Airport?
Yeah.
Just it was afternoon and I moseyed on into the city and looked for this hotel. Then I met
No
up.
way.
I found it. I asked "Dokode," right? Where is? And that's about all I could say.
Well, that's an important one.
I would say there, there, there. So then I found the group, and then we spent 10 days. It was with a group of 25 photographers from all
That's
different
so cool.
countries. Yeah, it was really
What an amazing experience.
amazing. If you told me tomorrow it's happening again, or maybe next year,
Maybe not tomorrow.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I would do that in a heartbeat.
yeah. I don't think they do it anymore. I think that they spent all their money on these things.
Probably. Probably.
It was really nice while it lasted. Then I lived in Rome. I lived in Rome for about 14 years, and I was the Lomo ambassador for 2 years,
Really?
which doesn't mean much. It meant like kind of
That's cool,
party
though.
organizer or something, like
Yeah,
organizing.
yeah, but still,
Yeah, it was
really
great.
cool.
Great.
Nice. Let's have a look at these different places that we can have.
So we can have a park, a train station, a university, a hospital.
Yeah, a museum, a castle, and a zoo.
Yes, and interesting pronunciation-wise, the second to last
Zoo.
word, we pronounce it quite differently. You say castle.
Castle.
I
Yeah.
say castle.
Castle.
Ca-ca.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you
Open
want
and close.
better, you can say Caucasian. No, that doesn't work. Ca-ca. There is not any.
Caucasian. Castle. People in the north of England do say castle, though. So
Really?
yeah, yeah.
So like Carlisle would be a castle and not a castle?
I imagine for them, yeah. For me, it's always a castle, but they change. So, for example, the difference between grass and grass and bath and bath.
Wow.
So that one's up in the north.
So is like in Scotland, do they say then castle and
Oh,
not?
I don't know about Scotland.
Interesting.
I don't know. I don't know. In the north of England, I know that they open their A's.
So like
And they do these. Yeah. So they'll say grass. Again, it depends. Different people, different pronunciations. But for the most part, the north of England have an open grass.
And in the south, it's then closed. Car.
Yeah, it's this grass.
Mm-hmm.
Car.
Beautiful.
Bath.
Do you like castles?
I love castles. I really do. We've got a few castles where I'm from.
Really? Nice.
Yeah.
Have you visited them?
Yep. I
Wow.
remember visiting one, and my parents loved telling this story because they like to think that I was a very clever child when I was very young.
Uh-huh.
And we were doing the tour of the castle, and they had a unicorn horn.
Cool.
And they asked the group, so there were adults, children, teenagers, loads of different ages. And they asked, okay, so obviously unicorns didn't exist, or, maybe they did, maybe they don't. But they said, this is not obviously from a unicorn. Where does it come from? What animal does it come from? And no one could answer. And then I put my hand up and I said, it's a narwhal. And it was the correct answer.
That's awesome. How old were you?
I think I was 8. Or
Wow.
no, yeah, 8.
Genius.
7 or 8.
It's a random animal too.
It's because I read a lot of animal books when I was young. I loved it. So I was like, that's a narwhal. And they were like, that is right.
So everyone was like, whoa, this kid.
Yeah, no,
Where
my parents like telling that story.
Where do narwhals even live?
I don't. I
Let's
imagine
see,
in
Canada and Russia. So definitely along the coast of Devon, right?
Yeah, no.
Fantastic.
But no, it was a funny one. And there are ghost stories as well in the castles, which are always fun.
Yeah.
Always fun. Do you like castles too?
I love castles. I don't like ghost stories, but I do like castles. I love, there's such beautiful castles in Italy too, right? Visiting castles. I once, a friend of mine in Rome once organized, she is an event organizer, and we went her friend is the count of a castle near Rome. So
No way.
we organized an event, and I was helping with it, and yeah, it was cool. It was
That
really,
is cool.
really something. Yeah. So
You know,
and,
sorry, no, go on, Sarah.
you know, there is a castle in Los Angeles too.
Really?
Yeah, it is called the Magic Castle. It is not an old castle. It's probably been there max 80, maybe 100 years, but it's a place where magic is done. So you go there, it's cute. My mom loves it. You go and you book a table and you go in, and then they do magic tricks, they do card tricks. It's
nice.
Universal Studios, but for magic.
You know what I find fascinating is that castles really represent the culture. Mm-hmm. So a castle in Europe is very different from a castle in Asia, from a castle in America, from a castle anywhere. That the style is different, the materials are different. Even what you would define as a castle, like I would maybe say it's a palace, but they're like, no, this is a castle.
What castles are there in Asia?
Because they have the really almost like pagoda kind of type castles. Like the Japanese castles, they do not look like my traditional idea of a castle. They look like a palace. They have walls,
right?
But it's not like, yes, it is, but it isn't. Right.
Interesting. Yeah,
it's strange. It's strange.
But
like pardon?
I love visiting castles. I think it's very interesting. Yeah. I'd like to visit Rocchetta Mate, the castle close by.
I visited.
Bologna. Did you like it?
Yeah, it's really unique. He's very eccentric. He's got a lot of different things from different places that he's used.
I would love to visit.
Worth a visit. Worth a visit. Yeah. Okay, so what do you think is A?
So I think it's the Metro of Paris. Personally, what do you think it is?
I think so too. It looks like a metro.
There is no language though, so it's hard to know what city, but just the color red, it just seems very Parisian. So I would say then, I guess, train station.
Wait, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Train station.
Celebratory harmonica.
Fantastic.
What is B?
What is B? B should be a university.
Yes, and what they're wearing is called cap and gown. Did you wear a cap and gown when you graduated?
Yes, I did. Are they called, in America, are they called mortarboards as well, or no?
Possibly.
A cap and gown though, yeah, definitely. Yes. Did you throw the cap into the air? Yes.
Yes.
I did too. I almost killed someone, I think, with they're violent. They're not soft either. They're heavy.
That's real deal. Yeah.
Yeah. What is C?
That's a good question. I can't really see C. I think maybe it's okay. That's very difficult. I can say what it's not. It's not the Guggenheim Museum. It's not MoMA. It's not the Brooklyn Museum. It's not Mambo in Bologna. It's not the Louvre.
I don't know what it is.
It's not Musée d'Orsay. So maybe it's the Tate Modern.
Maybe. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to look it up on Google, but...
Oh, really? How do you do that?
Because you can, if you right-click an image, you can search that image on Google.
How interesting. And nothing is showing up?
Nothing concrete, nothing that just says, boom, this is.
Can you imagine what museum it is?
It looks French. I don't know why.
Oh, that's interesting. So it could be Musée d'Orsay, maybe. Or maybe it's in the south of France, near Biarritz. It's in a small town, and it's beautiful lighting. It's a renowned museum for ceramics. It's
Oh,
images of ceramics, right? Painters
yeah.
that this tradition of Biarritz painted ceramics. Actually, there's one of these museums too in Bilbao.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The Guggenheim?
No,
No.
the French Ceramic Museum.
Ah, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I'll have
And
to check it
D,
out next time I
yeah,
go to Bilbao.
exactly. And D is what?
We have some lemurs,
Some Lima.
ringtail lemurs.
What's that?
It's the animal, I think,
Where?
in picture D.
Oh, is that a picture? An animal? It's hard to say. Oh, I see. Okay, because I see it very little. Okay, lemurs. Oh, that's neat.
I think they're ringtail lemurs from Madagascar.
Awesome.
Don't,
What is the capital of Madagascar?
no idea.
No idea. It's very long. It's Antananarivo.
Antananarivo. How
Yeah,
do you know that?
because I actually worked at the UN for a couple years. So yeah, great
Wow.
for someone who loves geography. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
Antananarivo.
it's interesting. You say zoo, right?
Who? The Italians?
You say zoo. No, you.
I say zoo.
Oh, you say zoo like me. Zoo. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, zoo.
I think most European languages say something like zo.
Yeah, no zoo. Is
Yeah.
there a zoo in Kinkerswell?
No, there's one in Paynton, which is, again, 10, 15 minutes away.
I
It's
wanted
a world-renowned zoo as well. Paynton Zoo. It's a
Wow.
very beautiful zoo.
I was curious about Kinkerswell as well. Is there a restaurant called the Hare and Hounds in Kinkerswell?
Yeah, there is.
I was wondering, is it nice?
Yeah, it's okay. With most of the pubs and inns and in King's Kerswell, they're a little dark,
Dark
especially
meaning
the pubs. As in, there's not a lot of lights. They're old. But yeah, the Hare and Hounds. Yeah, there's also the Lord Nelson,
oh, very nice.
the
Wow.
Sloop, which is
Restaurant in Kinkerswell.
I think because the Hare and Hounds used to be called the Sloop.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then they rebranded. It's on the main roads. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I think so. They're cool.
E.
An important building.
Very important at this time, especially.
Yeah.
Very, very important.
It's a hospital.
Dressed in blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure you pronounce the h, hospital. So not hospital, hospital. Ho.
Right. And the S, right? So not hospital, but hospital.
Right. Hospital.
Yeah, hospital.
Very nice. And F is your favorite.
F is delightful. See, now for this, I would imagine it's in Bavaria.
Yeah, me too.
In like the south of Germany, or maybe in the north of Austria.
We can try and find it.
Oh, it could be the Czech Republic.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah.
it's Bratislava.
It is Neuschwanstein Castle in Germany.
Is it in Bavaria?
In Bavaria.
Wow, how do you like that? I really don't know much about Germany, but
good job.
Yeah. But in terms of castles, it doesn't look like my favorite kind of castle. What about you? Yeah.
For me, this is already more like a palace, maybe like a Disney kind of idea of a castle. But a castle for me is strong, Norman.
Oh, interesting. For you, it's Norman. No, for me, it's more Italian.
Oh, Italian castles.
I mean, although the Normans were
in
Italy for a couple hundred years, so
more like these. Okay,
yeah. I love what I love is. Do you remember the vocabulary name for these? They're not spires.
Precipice. The pulpit. No,
the things that stick out.
They're not the pulpits, are they?
No, let's see here. I'll look up a castle image to find it. They are called, you know what I'm talking about, right? Are they turrets?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It might be turrets.
I'm not sure.
with Tourette's, right? Turrets. Yeah, it says turret is a small tower that vertically projects.
But I think that's the ones at the end, not the
Okay.
not that castle wall
A mystery.
name. They are called battlements. I think they are battlements.
Very cool. So that's my favorite part of castles. I love seeing those. Even driving in Italy, when you see these sticking out like that. In Bologna as well, you have like these towers that at the top sometimes have that. Quite cool.
Very cool.
So castle.
Well,
and the final one, as we're just about up for time, what is G?
Is the most common Korean surname.
Is it really? Very interesting. Okay.
Yeah, Park.
Park. Fantastic.
Or is it Japanese? I can't remember.
No, I would think Korean, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Domo arigato. Thank you very much for this lovely webinar.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.
Bye. Whoop.